Early morning crypto, just the news. This is Frank Roberts. If you've been sleeping under a rock the past 24 hours, everything's about Bitcoin, the Bitcoin price. I guess we'll touch on why aren't the altcoins doing as much. Today we will, in today's episode, look at the ETF, what's happening with the ETF. Can I remind all of you, don't forget please to subscribe and add comments. We have a lot to talk about and a lot to get on with. So let's get straight into today's episode of Early Morning Crypto. Everything's about Bitcoin. Look at that price. Holy moly. Look at that, the day price, beautiful increases here. I'm showing you on CoinMarketCap right now what has occurred in the past 24 hours. If you're waking up, you've been in a coma, you haven't been around for the past 24 hours, a lot has been going on, a lot of speculation. You can see a 5% increase for the day at the moment. Remember, if we look at this 7-day look, we have well and truly recovered from that nasty report that the ETF wouldn't be approved and a big drop. And we're talking about here back on the 3rd of January, we're talking about here all of a sudden a lovely recovery and beyond. So looking at what's happened over the year, we've had a magnificent 170.68% price increase. And when in doubt, zoom out, as I always say, have a look at Bitcoin. It's well and truly getting towards those all-time highs, which you can see occurred. And you can see we had a beautiful price, all-time high of 56, 57,000, whatever it be, in 2021. Now, in terms of market sentiment at the moment as we speak this morning, in terms of greed and fear, we're sitting on a 74% greed. Holy moly, Batman. That is phenomenal at the moment in terms of greed. Interesting. But as I scroll down on the CoinMarketCap, it's not so pretty with the altcoins. And interestingly, they're really not following straight away, which they tend to not anyway in my study and research on how this works. If I look at Solana as a good example at the moment, that's its journey, as you can see, for the past year. It's had a really beautiful recovery. Remember, it went down to 21, 22, 20. When, remember, its all-time high was wowee, where everyone was going beyond $100, wasn't it? People were getting really excited about Solana. Sorry, not $100, excuse me, when it was hovering above $220, $240. So it's only recovered halfway, whilst Bitcoin, reminding you, has recovered more than half of its drop that occurred. So the altcoins are still a bit slow off the mark, in my opinion. If we go to crypto bubbles, that paints a better picture for us. Let's look at the hourly, what's going on. Yeah, the altcoins aren't doing anything. There's a lot of red, isn't there? Sea of red. This is the top 100 I'm showing you right now. And you can see Bonk, well, it's still saying it's above 1%, but a lot of the others are really struggling. Look at Polkadot, it's gone below 2%. Remember, at one stage, that was an altcoin people were talking about in a big way in the last bull market, particularly. But if you look at Render, that graph, and why am I mentioning Render? That's had a big drop, a big drop relative to the others, 1.1% in the negative. Because remember, everything's sort of sitting on at the moment on the altcoins, not doing much, really steady stuff, constant stuff. But if you look at the daily picture, it gives you a better idea. Okay, there you can see I'm just showing you Helium. That's had a really interesting spike increase, slight correction, sitting on at the moment $6.47. Whilst Bonk, well, that's been the big winner, hasn't it, in a way, for the past day, if you were lucky to invest at the start of the day when it's just before it went up. So you get a bit of an idea there of what's going on in terms of the altcoins. Now let's move over to some articles about this whole ETF and what's going on. Okay, so Forbes is saying, and this is from an article from News BTC, they're saying Forbes is saying the spot Bitcoin ETF approval will send Bitcoin price to 80,000. Okay, now that's pretty interesting, and you can see highlighted in yellow indicating that, according to the publication, they're claiming Forbes. the price of Bitcoin could surge as high as 80,000 by the end of 2024. A lot of people are throwing the magic number 100,000, by the way. You know, I can remember the days of, I've said it in the last episode, Dogecoin, everyone was saying $1. They always come up with some magic number, and I've heard with Ethereum many times, the magic number being it's going to hit 10,000, you know, in the next bull run. Or I've even heard the other day people saying 20,000 on Ethereum. That'd be great. I have a fair few coins of Ethereum. Looking at Molly for an Australian side, they're talking about explaining his why Bitcoin rockets to a 21-month high. So why has it gone up just recently? Yes, I've said news about the ETF. I keep saying it, but they're explaining what's happened in the past 24 hours. As you said, there's a lot of, and it's highlighted here, renewed energy amid a pending decision from the SEC. Okay? And sources say, it's interesting when they say sources say, he said, she said, gossip mongering going on. Sources say that if the SEC greenlights the applications, some funds could be launched as soon as next week. Now, remembering the companies that are vying for this, you can see them listed here: BlackRock, ARK, Wisdom Tree, Fidelity, etc. Okay, in terms of this. Now, to finish today's episode, I want to point out that another positive article, You Today, saying the Bitcoin 30% pump will break all-time high. Here's a potential date. They're actually trying to give a date on it. I won't go to the date so much because that starts becoming speculative. I'm more interested, highlighted in blue here in the article, that it says Bitcoin is on the brink of a historic moment with a price action hinting and impeding again breakthrough that could set new standards for the original cryptocurrency. Again, saying with the upcoming approval of the Bitcoin ETF. And finally, it is saying, they're stating it, a lot of people are saying it, market sentiment is bullish. So that's where we are at the moment. That wraps up today's episode on Early Morning Crypto. It's all still about Bitcoin. I guess the gospel is still according to Bitcoin. We are all watching anxiously, waiting to see what happens with the altcoins, because really they will hopefully follow after Bitcoin with a price increase. But for now, do please subscribe and add comments in terms of content. We'll try to get to you daily in terms of the latest news on crypto.